And again, ladies and gentlemen, now entering the ring is Class 1 over in your Limousin female show. This heifer's date of birth is March 2nd of 2025. Again, now entering the ring is Class 1 over in your Limousin female show.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say it's a pleasure and an honor to be here this afternoon to judge this Junior Limmy show here in Louisville. To start off with, we got a heifer, an exceptionally made heifer, big bone, big footed kind of female that's very extended up front. She has great shape and dimension through the center of her rib cage. She's good down her top and out her hip, travels free and easy. It's going to be awesome to see her back out here as we go along with some of the other ones, but a high quality female to start off our show with. Congratulations.
And first place in class number 1 goes to entry number 4, CKES Next Girl 941N, exhibited by Carly Kessler of Crawfordsville, Indiana. Congratulations. We're now ready for class number 2 over in your Limousin female show. Again, ready for class number 2. This female's date of birth is February 10 of 2025.
Just a single entry again here, and really a well balanced, extremely appealing female. When this young lady gets put together on a profile here, she does an extremely nice job showing this female. When you get out behind this female, still very impressive. Really pulled apart at her pins, very square hipped, travels free and easy. I like how expanded she is in her forerib. I like how she comes out of her chest with some width and expands into that lower heart rib there. She really comes out of her shoulder well into her spine. She puts a lot of things together very nicely. It'll, again, be interesting to see her back out here with the rest of them.
And your Division 4 champion spring yearling heifer over in your maintainer show goes to entry number 146, TSSC BTOM Melka Kearns, exhibited by Hogan Hendrickson of Farmland, Indiana. Congratulations. And first place in Class 2 over in your limousine female show goes to entry number 7, SSUL Queen Latifah, exhibited by Samantha Van Horse of Bowling Green, Ohio. Congratulations. We're now ready to select your first division female champion.
Let's congratulate these two exhibitors with a nice round of applause on a nice set of heifers. You know, there's only two heifers out here, but I think we have two very high quality females out here. The heifer that would have won the first individual class, very extended through her front end, really great shape and dimension of the center of her rib cage travels free and easy as she goes about the ring. There's plenty of product in this female. If I was to pick, I'd like to probably pull her apart a little in her upper forerib and tie in that shoulder to her spine as she comes out of that shoulder. Make her just a little more uniform there. She maybe gets just a little piecier in her build compared to the heifer that would have won the class right behind her, or the individual that won the class right behind her. The heifer from behind her gives you this great silhouette. She's extended enough through her front end. She's really good down her top, square out her hip, travels free and easy with a big barrel in her. I like how expanded she is in her forerib. I like how she is in that lower forerib where she comes out of her chest. Puts a lot of things together very well. She will win your division day. She'll be your champion. This will be your reserve in the division. Thank you.
And your division champion over in your limousine female show goes to entry number 7, SSUL Queen Latifah, exhibited by Samantha Van Horse of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Or, excuse me, Bowling Green, Ohio. And your reserve division champion goes to entry number 4, CKES Next Girl, exhibited by Clara Kessler of Crawfordsville, Indiana. Now in ring is Class 3 over in your limousine female show. And your reserve Division 4 champion spring yearling heifer over in your maintainer show goes to entry number 154, Miss Showcase Diamond, exhibited by Landry Tibbetts of Mineral Point, Wisconsin. Congratulations. We're now selecting your Division 4 champion bred known spring yearling heifer. And your bred known division champion goes to entry number 182, exhibited by Chase Harker of Hope, Indiana. Congratulations.
Just another single entry again here in the limousine show. Really a balanced female when you get on her profile here. This young lady gets her pulled together. She's very good down her top, square out her hip, puts her legs down on the corners like she should. Maybe a female to me is not quite as big boned and big footed as maybe a couple of the calves that were in the classes right before her, but a very balanced, complete female. Again, we'll just have to see her back out here with some other competition, but a very complete female for this young lady.
And first place in class number 3 goes to entry number 8, SJMR Miley, exhibited by Samantha Jo Moore of Stoughton, Virginia. Congratulations. Now in the ring is class 4 over in your limousine female show. And over in your maintainer ring, we are ready to select your grand champion maintainer heifer here at the North American. Again, we're ready to select your grand champion maintainer female, and would like to reintroduce our judge here today over in your main Anjou, main Angus, and maintainer female show, Mr. Blaine Rogers. Blaine Rogers from Savannah, Missouri, owns and operates Rogers Livestock with his wife Melissa and two daughters Peyton and Reagan. Blaine grew up in California, where he attended Modesto Junior College and Cal Poly University and studied animal science while participating on the livestock judging team. Today, Rogers Livestock is a family operation focused on breeding and marketing high-quality cattle and working with families and breeders across the country. In addition to selling show cattle, Rogers Livestock also promotes and markets semen from a diversified lineup of bulls, serving all segments of the industry. Outside his role at Rogers Livestock, Blaine is a national sales manager at Rural Supplements, where they focus on providing a complete multi-species line of nutritional supplements and the rival show feeds brand to use to give customers across the nation. These two roles provide the opportunity to work closely with youth and breeders in the livestock industry and fulfill a lifelong passion. If you could join me in giving Mr. Blaine Rogers a big round of applause for being out here with us on the Green Shavings.
Here in this class in the Purebred Limmy show, the heifer we're going to start off with, I just love the balanced look she gives you when you get her set up on a profile. I love how extended she is up front. Love the foot size. I love the bone in this female. Where she's very impressive is when you get out behind her. The way she carries the thickness coming out of her shoulder all the way down her top, out through her hooks. She's wider set at her pins. There's just more of her behind. She travels free and easy enough. Gives you great balance and a great look. Really, they've done a nice job getting this heifer ready to come out here. As far as her, she really is appealing how she's put together from a fit job standpoint. But there's a lot of quality in this female. Just free and easy as she goes. She's laid in at the point of that shoulder. Her blade's flat, but it expands into an expanded forerib with a lot of shape and dimension in their center rib and a lot of balance. Really a nice female to start off with. The young man's heifer that's going to come in next in line, extremely sound as she goes about the ring. A more moderate female. I might appreciate that a little more about her. Not quite as extended up through the front end. And when you get out behind her, she's maybe just built a little tighter in her pin set, a little rounder in her hip as you view her compared to the heifer right in front of her. But a good balanced, sound female for this young man. Just a single entry here again, but a female that puts a lot of things together very nicely for me. I really prefer the frame size of this female. She's a female that has a tremendous amount of mass stretched across her frame. She's very wide and or she's very has plenty of chest width when you get out in front of her. She's really square on her legs, the way she puts them down, so balanced, so much capacity in the center of her rib, so much capacity in the rear third of this rib cage. Really good down her top, big hip. There's so much mass and power in this one for one built this smooth. I really appreciate that about her. Would grant that as we get her in motion here, I'd like to change the way her pastern goes to the ground. I think she's a little more rigid off these rear two than I might like to see her, but just such a complete, smooth made animal with a lot of power in her. Just has a lot of future for this young lady.
And your grand champion maintainer heifer here at the 2025 North American goes to entry number 146 TSSC BTOM Mila Kunis, exhibited by Hogan Hendrickson of Farmland, Indiana. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion maintainer heifer will go to entry number 154 Miss Showcase Diamond, exhibited by Landry Tibbetts of Mineral Point, Wisconsin. Again, congratulations to those maintainer exhibitors. We will now select your grand champion bred known maintainer heifer. And catching you up over in your limousine show, first place in Class 4 goes to entry number 11, Legacy Molly, exhibited by Jocelyn Rupplet of Witt, Illinois. And second place in that class goes to entry number 10, LMF Miss Masterat, exhibited by Jasper Tolan of Amherst, Virginia. And first place in Class 5 goes to entry number 12, TASF CKES My Girl, exhibited by Claire Kessler of Crawfordsville, Indiana. Now in the ring is Class 6 over in your limousine female show. And your grand champion Brendo maintainer female will go to entry number 182, Harker's Trixie 0105, exhibited by Chase Harker of Hope, Indiana. Congratulations again to all those maintainer exhibitors, and we will take a few pictures and then be moving right into your Red Angus show here in Broadbent Arena. We do need those first couple of classes of Red Angus to be in the makeup ring, ready to go.
Here in the limousine side, we're going to start with a heifer packing the most punch when you get out behind her. I think she's extremely balanced when you get her on a profile here. She's extended enough through that front end. She's a female that I might want to set back in her knee just a little more as you view her here and you watch her go around the ring. But she's a heifer that's got great balance. She's really impressive from behind as she's really expanded in her forerib as she comes out of her shoulder. She carries that back through her hip and down into her stifle. She's got plenty of width at the ground as you watch her go about the ring here. Just a very balanced, complete kind of female. A little more eye-appealing female, maybe on a profile from an extension standpoint as you view her to the one right in front of her. She's a female that has enough bone and foot under, not what some other females have had coming out here, but she has enough. The issue for me on this female compared to the class winners, there's just not as much expansion in the rib cage there when you view her from that three-quarter angle. There's just not as much top or hip in this female as you view her out from behind is the one that's going to go in front of her today.
And over in your limousine show, placings in Class 6 are as followed. First place goes to entry number 14, TASF Amanda, exhibited by Olivia Benson of Anthon, Iowa. And second place in that class goes to entry number 13, Mary Ann, exhibited by Julian Rexroad of Duck, West Virginia. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. We're now ready to select your division champion. Again, Division 2 champion is now in the ring. Would like to take this time to introduce your limousine show here in Broadbent Arena, Mr. Bruce Sturzbach. Bruce, along with his wife Amy, own and operate Sturzbach's Cattle Company, a true family operation that has been in the business for over 30 years, located in Northeast Ohio. SCC is a true multi-generational farm run alongside their children, Dylan and Taylor Sturzbach, and Cade and Taylor Sturzbach, with the next generation of grandkids, Shay and Cooper. At SCC, they focus is on raising high-quality Angus cattle that not only excel in the show ring but also serve as elite donors in the pastures. The Sturzbachs are well known for producing top-end genetics from proven bulls and elite females, including the famous Phyllis cow families and the influential sire 24 Carat, whose impact can be seen across multiple breeds in the show stock industry. In addition to their Angus program, SCC also raises percentage Simmentals and Lim-Flex females. Beyond cattle, Bruce and Amy have spent the last 40 years raising AKC-registered Australian Shepherds, a vital part of a daily life and work on the farm. Their dogs are known for being an integral part of the SCC team. Bruce is deeply committed to the livestock community and takes great pride in supporting youth involvement. He is a longtime supporter of the National Junior Angus Association and believes strongly in fostering the next generation of leaders in the cattle industry. His life and work reflect a deep passion for agricultural livestock and the values that come with it. If you could join me in giving Mr. Bruce Sturzbach a big round of applause for being here with us on the Green Shavings.
If you would join me in congratulating these exhibitors on a nice lineup out here for your division championship. I think there's a lot of quality out here. Quality comes in different shapes and sizes. You know, the numbers weren't huge, so there's definitely going to be some differences in what you get and see in each one of these animals. But I heard Murph say it a lot. You know, we're looking for the quality with the animal. They're not always going to line up and be the same. We strive for that in the end, maybe to have a lot of cattle that'll be out for the championship lineup to be similar in type and kind. But there's going to become differences in them, and you're still looking for the most quality. The young lady's heifer that would have won the first class, really a complete individual for this young lady. Good balance when you get on the side here, square enough built. As your viewer, compared to a couple of her counterparts out here, not near the bone and foot size, and the female not probably quite as extended up front. And when you view her out from behind, not quite as powerful, not as much punch in her as a couple of these females. The heifer that wins the next class is so balanced and square built from a profile. She puts those legs down really square. When you see her, when this young lady gets her stopped and gets her put together, she's extended enough through her front end. She's a heifer that's got enough shape and dimension in that rib. She's got a lot of width from behind. The issue for me is as you get around in front of her, she's really laid in at the point of her shoulder, but part of that's because she's a little narrower chested than the heifer right behind her maybe today. She's a female to me. I'd like to just pull apart in that lower forerib and in her heart area. I just like to give her more width and expansion there, but really a appealing female that's got plenty of product. As you put her in motion, I might want to see her hock flex a little better on her rear too. Young lady's heifer that comes in next in line, a little more moderate in her frame size compared to the heifer that goes in right in front of her. Heifer with a tremendous amount of power, the most powerful built heifer in this lineup. Really big down her top and out through her hip. She's expanded enough in her pin. She's got a big old stifle in her. Tremendous base width in this female as she travels around the ring. She's extended enough through her front end. She's very smooth built for a heifer that has so much width and dimension to her from front to rear. She's laid in good enough at the point of that shoulder. Really like the bone and foot size under this female. I mentioned in classes, we put her in motion. I'd like to see her maybe a little more relaxed in that rear pastern. She gets just a tick rigid, but this is a very impressive female from a standpoint of having power and mass, and it's put together in a very unique, balanced, smooth package, like a lot about the female. Young lady's heifer that would have won the last class here. She's a female, again, has the balance of these females in front of her. She's a heifer that's not quite as extended through her front end, but she's long down her top and out her hips. She travels free and easy enough. Again, it's like the heifer that won the first class. As you get behind her, she probably needs just a little more punch of power in her compared to a couple of the other females out here, but a very balanced, complete female that has a bright future for this young lady. I think this has been a good group for me, but there's two heifers that stand out to be Grand and Reserve in this division for me, and I'll go get those for you right now, and we'll get on with the show. But thank you, appreciate it. Again, give them a nice round of applause.
And your Division II champion over in your limousine female show goes to entry number 12, TASF CKES My Girl, exhibited by Clara Kessler of Crawfordsville, Indiana. Congratulations. And your reserve division champion will go to entry number 11, Legacy's Molly, exhibited by Jocelyn Ruppert of Witt, Illinois. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We're now ready for class number 7 over in your limousine show. Again, we're now ready for class 7 limousine females. If we could get those main Anjou exhibitors that are still waiting for the backdrop to make their way closer to the announcer's booth so we can go ahead and start this Red Angus show. We are ready to begin our Red Angus show here in Broadbent Arena with class number 1, Red Angus percentage females.
Again, just a single entry here, but again, a female that will definitely be able to withstand some competition. Really good balance out of this female. She carries her depth out of that forerib into that center of that rib cage and back into her rear flank. She's really good down her top. Plenty of product in this female when you stand out behind her. She's very smooth coming out of her shoulder into that forerib. She's very square as she goes out through her hip and down to the ground. Good bone and foot size under this female. Might want to clean her up just a little bit in her underline. She's carrying a little more navel. Maybe for a younger female, just a little heavier in the chest. But that's picking on a female that puts a lot of things together really nice. It'll be interesting to get her back out here.
And first place in class number 7 over in your limousine female show goes to entry number 16, HB Whiskey, exhibited by Laura Landers Franklin of Bonneville, Alabama. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is class 8 over in your limousine female show.
Again, just another single entry here, but really a very complete, smooth built female. She's not maybe as extended through her front end as some other females we've seen out here earlier, but she's still very broody in her head and neck. She's very maternal looking as you get her in her profile. Got that tremendous rib cage, great shape to the center of that rib when you get her out on a 3/4 angle here. Plenty of muscle in this female. As you get her in motion, I would like to see her just relax in those rear pasterns just a little bit. She wants to be a little rigid, especially in that left one going around compared to how we'd like it, in the end. But really a female that puts together a lot of things nicely.
And first place in class 7 over in your limousine female show goes to entry number 16. And first place in class number 8 goes to entry number 19, TASF Midnight Angel, exhibited by Lillian Portwood of Versailles, Kentucky. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. Now entering the ring is class number 9.
Here in the purebred limmies, we're going to start with the extended heifer of the pair out here. I think she gives you just a really great look, just so elegant when you get her on a profile hair. She's so good down her top and square out her hip, very maternal through her front end. She travels free and easy enough for me. She's got plenty of product in her. Is she as big boned or big footed as the one standing right behind her? Probably not, but there's still plenty for a female in my estimation. And I just love the extension of this female. I just love how long she is down her top, how long she is out her hip, how she's extended up to her front end. I just like that extra length in the female. Really a powerhouse here is going to come in behind her. As I said, big boned and big footed. Tremendous amount of product when you get out behind this female. Tremendous hip and stifle in this female. A lot of base width. For me, I just like to pull her apart a little bit when you get her on her profile here. She's just shorter sided. She's a little shorter coupled in her hip. She's a heifer that just needs to be a little more extended through her front end to be able to get above the one in front of her today.
And first place in Class 9 over in your limousine female show goes to entry number 22, HB Whiskey of 44-3M, exhibited by Landon Clark of Gainesville, Georgia. And second place in that class will go to entry number 23, HB Whiskey 44-2M, exhibited by Samantha Pico of Ewing, Kentucky. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors.
Again, just a single entry here, but a female that puts together a lot of things really nicely. When she comes into the ring, you just like the way she motors, the softness in her rear hawk, the way her pastern goes to the ground. She's a heifer that we talked in the last class about one being really long-sided, long hip, and I appreciate it. This heifer may not be as extended through her front end, through her neck, but from there back, she's still got plenty of length, plenty of hip. When you get out behind her, it's so impressive of how smooth she is, how wide she is in her top as she comes out of her shoulder. She carries that width all the way to the back. She's very wide hipped, just really impressive from behind. Does a lot of things very well. Really, it'll be interesting to see her get back out here, but a nice female for that young man.
And first place in class number 10 in your limousine female show goes to entry number 24, SSUL Forever Charmed, exhibited by Reed Utterback of Elwood, Indiana. Congratulations. Now making her way into the ring is class 11. Again, now making her way into the ring is class 11 limousine females. And again, we're ready to start our Red Angus Junior show here in Broadbent Arena. Okay, we need that first class of Red Angus Junior percentage females. Again, we need class 1 Red Angus percentage females to be in the makeup ring. We are ready to start our Red Angus female show. And first place in Class 1 in Automatic Division and Grand Champion percentage Red Angus female goes to entry number 18, Shady's Cupcake in 54, exhibited by Jace Beatty of Crossville, Tennessee. Congratulations. We will take a picture of this percentage Red Angus female, and then we'll be ready for Class 1 Red Angus females. We'll be ready for that Class 1 Red Angus females.
Here in this class of limousine females, we're going to start with a female that does a lot of things for me that I really like. She's very, again, balanced when you get on her profile. She gives you a really good look when this young lady gets her set together, but she gives you a really good look when she's in motion. I view this as the soundest heifer of the 3 in the class. When you get out behind her, she's still so smooth built. She's laid in at the point of that shoulder. She's expanded enough in that forerib. She comes back into a center rib cage. It's got plenty of shape and dimension to it. She carries that back into the rear third of that body. She's really big down her top, really good outer hip and her stifle. I actually prefer the ratio of bone to foot to the rest of the composition of this heifer as much as any in the class. I think she has plenty of stoutness to her, as you view her here from a profile, but still carries it in a very nice, complete feminine package. The young lady's heifer that's going to come in next in line, I'm going to grant, appears to be maybe a little bigger boned and footed than the heifer that's going to go right out in front of her. She's a heifer, again, extremely balanced when you go on her profile, square build here. Maybe starts to me losing some of that femininity in her head compared to the one right in front of her. She gets a little heavier in that dewlap in her jaw right there, maybe a little heavier in her chest. But she's a female to me that more falls the type and kind from the way her knees set back into her in her front pastern. than maybe the heifer that goes right behind her. The heifer that goes behind her, again, stout and powerful for this young man. Plenty of rib cage in this heifer. Just a little maybe coarser in her makeup as she's a little bigger at the point of her shoulder. She's a little tighter in her heart. And I'd like to get that knee set back in that female just a little bit as you view her go here to get her up any today.
And first place in Class 11 over in your Limousin female show goes to entry number 30, Sel Margot, exhibited by Claire Stennett of Waynestown, Indiana. And second place in that class will go to entry number 25, Legacy's Meg, exhibited by Jocelyn Rubert of Witt, Illinois. And third place in that class will go to entry number 28, Sell Melody, exhibited by Gage Baker of Flounton, Missouri. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. We're now ready to select your Division III champion Limousin female. Again, we're now ready to select your Division III champion female. Would like to take this time to introduce your Red Angus female judge for today, Mr. Cody Sankey. Cody currently lives in Economy, Indiana with his wife Lindsay and two children, Caroline and Cyrus, where they own and operate Sankey Angus. They strive to raise high-quality Angus seed stock, and Cody holds a bachelor's degree in animal science and a master's degree in ruminant nutrition from Oklahoma State University. And while at Oklahoma State, he was a member of their 2001 national champion livestock judging team there at Oklahoma State. Cody also works for Gen X Beef as a beef programs director, and some of the shows that Cody has past judging experience includes judging the Cattlemen's Congress, National Western Stock Show, North American International Livestock Show, American Royal, Dixie National Stock Show, San Antonio Stock Show, Houston Livestock, along with the Angus, Hereford, Simmental, Shorthorn, and Key and Maine Junior Nationals. As well as many state fairs, he's judged in over 27 states, Mexico, and Canada. If you could join me in giving Mr. Cody Sankey a big round of applause for being with us here on the Green Shavings to evaluate your Red Angus female show.
So here let's give these exhibitors a nice round of applause for extremely nice set of heifers. You know, we have a couple single entries up here on this end to start off this division with, both really high quality females for these young ladies. Very balanced, square build heifer that's going to start off here. There's plenty of product in the female when you get out behind her, maybe a little more moderate in her frame size than some of the other females we see out here. But a female that puts together a lot of things nice. As you view her compared to some of the other ones, maybe just a little wastier in her other underline, like to maybe clean her up in that navel a little bit. Maybe give her just a little more base width compared to some of the females that are going to come behind her, but a younger female that sure has time to develop more of that. The heifer that's won the next class, long-sided kind of female with plenty of rib shape and dimension in her. As you get her back out here, doesn't go together quite as an Anita's package as the heifers around her do. She's a little easier in her top coming out of her shoulder. She's a little broke there. She cuts up in her rear flank just a little bit for me, maybe gets a little heavier chested, but she's a sound enough female. She goes about the ring with plenty of rib shape and dimension for this young lady. Then as we actually get into it here, now we get into the three females that are probably in a little more competition for this division, not to take nothing away from the two in front of them. We get a very elegant female that goes next in line here with sound as she goes about the ring. As I said in class, like the extra extension in this female. She's a female that's got great balance when you get on her profile. She's laid in well at the point of her shoulder. She's very balanced. Is she quite as powerful as a couple of the females that are going to come behind her? Probably not when you get out behind her, but a very elegant, sound-built, sound-moving kind of female. Gentleman's heifer that's going to come in next in line, the stoutest female in the class, especially from a bone and foot standpoint. She's a female that travels free and easy. She goes about the ring. She has that extra extension from her shoulder back, especially out through her hip. Easily the longest hip female in this class for me. Is she as extended up front as a couple of heifers on either side of her? Probably not, but it's enough for me when you're packing this kind of power, bone and foot. And then when you get out behind her, you just love how smooth she's built. She's laid in at the point of that shoulder. There's still plenty of chest floor width in this female. She carries that width back into her forerib with a lot of dimension and shape back into the center of that rib. She's got plenty of flank in her and a lot, again, base width in that flank when you get out behind her. Tremendous amount of muscle. Still flat in her joints. Still just puts together a lot of things to give you a good look. Again, maybe not quite as extended or clean in that neck, but puts together so many really high-quality things behind that. The young lady's heifer that's going to come in next in line, love the shape and dimension to this heifer's rib. I mean, when you get out on a three-quarter angle, this heifer just has so much turn to her rib cage as it comes out of her spine down into the center of that rib cage. She sure travels free and easy. She goes about the ring. Again, an extended kind of heifer, maybe a little more extended through her front end and cleaner than the heifer right in front of her. A heifer to me, though, probably isn't quite as extended in her hip. Maybe gets just a little rounder in her hip structure compared to the heifer right in front of her. But again, packing a ton of product in this female. Great base width in this female. Really laid into the point of that shoulder for one that's blown apart so much as you view her from that three-quarter angle with a lot of muscle. I think we got three really high quality females out here. This is a give and take thing for me a little bit when you start getting this high quality because they're going to be a little different. I'm going to take one more look here and I'll go out here and pick your champion in reserve. But thank you. Again, let's congratulate these exhibitors and give them a nice round of applause.
And catching you up over in your Red Angus female show, placings in Class 1 are as followed. First place and automatic bred known first place goes to Entry number 24, RFCC Miss Annie, exhibited by Van Richardson of Menardville, Tennessee. Congratulations. Second place in Class 1 goes to entry number 23, Shady's Road N63, exhibited by Ray Hamilton of Crossville, Tennessee. And first place in Class 2 will go to entry number 29, RHEL Pride, exhibited by Hannah Smith of Franklin, North Carolina. And second place in Class 2 will go to entry number 27, Shady's Ginger, exhibited by Lexi Goins of Crossville, Tennessee. We will now be ready to select your spring calf champion in your Red Angus female show.
Just a single entry here again in the Purebred Limmy Show. A female that gives you a great broody, maternal brood cow look when you get her in the profile here. Plenty of rib shape and dimension in this female. She's really deep in the center of that rib cage, carries enough depth into each flank. As you put her in motion here, I'd sure like to change how she handles those rear two as she goes about the ring, but a nice, complete female. We'll see back out here with the rest of them when we get to it.
And your spring calf champion in your Red Angus female show goes to entry number 29, exhibited by Hannah Smith of Franklin, North Carolina. And your reserve division spring calf champion goes to entry number 27, exhibited by Lexi Goins of Crossville, Tennessee. Again, congratulations for those exhibitors. We're now ready for class number 6, February heifer calves, over in your Red Angus female show. Again, we're ready for class 6 Red Angus females. And catching you up over in your Limousin female show, your Division 3 champion will go to entry number 24, SSUL Forever Charmed, exhibited by Reed Utterback of Elwood, Indiana. Congratulations. And your reserve division champion 3 goes to entry number 30, Sel Margot, exhibited by Claire Stennett of Waynetown, Indiana. Congratulations to those exhibitors. And moving along in your Limousin show, please note class number 12 is a scratch. And class 13, first place, goes to entry number 32, VTGF, Truly Charmed, exhibited by Ella Truel of Scatituck, Oklahoma. That exhibitor will also be your automatic Division 4 champion. And we're now ready to select your grand champion Limousin female here at the North American. Again, entering now is the selection of your grand champion Limousin female. And don't forget about our Supreme Heifer Drive tonight in Freedom Hall. Again, that Heifer Drive will be starting at the conclusion of the last breed show here in Louisville. Again, tonight is at Supreme Heifer Drive, and would like for everybody to be in attendance for that. as well as if you are looking for any photos from today's show or throughout this week, please go to lindysphotos.com. Lindy's Livestock Photos are the official photographer for this year's North American. So if you need any backdrop photos or ring photos, all you have to do is go to lindysphotos.com. We sure appreciate having them with us this year at the North American.
Well, again, if you would join me in congratulating these exhibitors for a really nice set of females. A great group of kids out here showing these females. You know, as we go through the purebred Limmy show here, the numbers weren't that large, but the quality's been really good. With that said, without the numbers being at large, it's a little harder to get them put together, maybe in as a uniform a package as you'd like sometimes. But I think a lot of these cattle out here are just extremely high quality females. The young lady's heifer calf that leads off the lineup here is really in competition out here. This is one I definitely gets a look to try to win this show. Extremely long sided and square hip, really extended. Maybe as extended out through her front end as anything out here to compete for it. Really like the ratio bone and foot to the rest of the composition of her body. It tends to her balance she has. Plenty of product in her. I will admit, there's a lot of February heifer calf for me. Maybe as you look back through her, maybe the largest framed heifer for her age standing out here. But this is a very complete female that's really built really well. If you get out in front of her, maybe just a little narrower in her chest compared to the capacity that some of the females show right behind her, but this is a high-quality female that's definitely under consideration. Young lady's heifer that comes in next in line, again, maybe a little more moderate in her kind than the heifer that won the division right in front of her, but a heifer that's tremendous in her rib shape, tremendous in the base width this female has as she goes away from you and comes to you. She carries all that width into that rear flank. She's got plenty of product when you get out behind her. She's long enough through her hip. She's just very complete and well-built. She's very smooth in her makeup. Maybe just a tick rigid on her pasterns compared to a couple of the other ones out here as you get her in motion, but still a heifer that travels free and easy enough. The gentleman's heifer that won the next class in the lineup, extremely powerful. Big bone, big footed kind of female, travels free and easy enough, square out her hip. Really as long-hipped and square-built hipped as any female that comes out here to me today. She's really deep in the center of that rib cage, carries that depth into both flanks. She's a heifer that's got enough base width when you get out behind her and definitely out in front of her. I really love the way she puts her foot to the ground. If you study her joints, very smooth joint for one this big-boned and big-footed. But as you view her from a profile here, when this young man puts her together, she really gives you a great look. Is she extended through her front end as some of the other ones out here? Probably not. Maybe a little deep in her neck. But she's a female that's still very broody and feminine, and when she possesses that kind of power and stoutness when you get out behind her, very impressive trait. Again, one under considerable consideration out here. The young lady, I'll speak about the young lady's heifer that come in reserve in the division. Again, really like this female. Great rib cage in this female. Very sound as she goes about the ring. Plenty of muscle in this female. A little more extended than the one that beat her in class right there. Maybe a little shorter and rounder in her hip when you get out behind her as you view the one that beat her in class. But this is really a high-quality female that really has a lot to offer the purebred Limmy breed. The young lady's female that would have won the last division, single entry in the division. Again, I said within that class, or her single entry, very broody, very maternal, very brood cow look to her. As you get her in motion, just needs to be freer and easier off those rear two to be able to get her any higher today. I think it's a really good set of females. There were 3 out here under consideration for this, but today I know the 2 I'm going to use, and I'll go out here and grab you a Grand Reserve. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to the Lim-Flex show.
And over in your limousine show, your grand champion limousine female here at the North American will go to entry number 24, SSUL Forever Charmed, exhibited by Reed Utterback of Elwood, Indiana. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion limousine female will go to entry at number 30, Sel Margaret, exhibited by Claire Stennett of Waynetown, Indiana. Again, congratulations to those limousine exhibitors. We'll now be selecting your bred-known female champion. And over in your Red Angus show, placings in Class 6 are as followed. First place and first place bred known will go to entry number 43. Sandridge Mia, 5733, exhibited by Addison Voel of Forest, Mississippi. Second place in that class and second place bred known goes to entry number 41. ARAS Kia, exhibited by Sarah Pritzstandler of Rush City, Minnesota. Third place in that class will go to entry number 39, TW Cali, exhibited by Caroline Holden of Lebanon, Ohio. Fourth place in that class will go to entry number 44, at 3C Isabel Knoll, exhibited by Walker Crank of Salem, Illinois. Fifth place in that class will go to entry number 38, exhibited by Sam Cathy of Greensburg, Indiana. Please note that entry number 42 and 45 were scratches. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. And first place in Class 7 over in your Red Angus female show goes to entry number 47, Sandridge Lakbarba, exhibited by Addison Val of Forest, Mississippi. We're now ready to select your junior heifer calf champion. Again, we're ready to select your junior heifer calf champion in your Red Angus female show. And your bred-known limousine female champion goes to entry number 12, exhibited by Carly Kessler of Crawfordsville, Indiana. Congratulations. And your reserve bred-known female goes to entry at number 25, exhibited by Jocelyn Robert of Witt, Illinois. Congratulations to those limousine exhibitors. And over in your Red Angus show, your junior heifer calf champion will go to entry number 47, Sandridge La Barbara, exhibited by Addison Val of Forest, Mississippi. And your reserve champion will go to entry number 43, Sandridge Mia, exhibited by Addison Val of Forest, Mississippi. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. We're now ready for Class 10 to be making their way into the ring. Again, Class 10 winter heifer calves over in your Red Angus female show. And placings in Class 10 over in your Red Angus female show are as followed. First place and automatic bred known champion or winner goes to entry number 50, GERA Cowgirl, exhibited by Helen Orr of Davenport, Oklahoma. And second place in that class goes to entry number 55, RFCC Lena, exhibited by Van Richardson of Menardville, Tennessee. Third place in that class goes to entry number 51, PR3S O'Helen, exhibited by Taylor Prof of Chardon, Ohio. Fourth place in that class goes to entry number 57, Sandridge La Barbara, exhibited by Addison Val of Forest, Mississippi. And fifth place in that class goes to entry number 54, exhibited by Audrey Carter of Center, Kentucky. And sixth place in Class 10 goes to entry number 58, exhibited by Ethan Lamore of Salem, Indiana. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. Now in the ring is Class 11 Senior Heifer Calves. And now in the ring over in your Lim-Flex female show is class number 14. Again, in the ring now is class 14 Lim-Flex females.
This class of Lim-Flex heifers, we're going to start off with the really smooth built, very balanced, square kind of female. When you get out behind her, easily the heifer with the most power in her. When you get out behind her, she's really good down her top. She's really wide coming out of in her forerib, coming out of her shoulder. She's good down her loin and out her top. She's really wide in her hip. She's got a lot of stifle in her. As you put her in motion, she travels free and easy enough with some base width, gives you a really good look. She's maybe just a little heavier chested than I'd like to see for a calf this age. And I'll be quite honest with you, it's a lot of heifer for a calf this age for me. That's quite a bit of April heifer calf. But with that said, she's the highest quality female in the class. She's going to need to start off winning the class. Heifer that comes in next in line, again, love how extended she is through her front end. Love how the shape and dimension in the center of that rib, great rib cage, sound enough as she goes, as she's built. She gets a little piecey in her makeup. She's a little more open at the point of her shoulders. She's a little more open in her upper shoulders, just a little tighter hearted for me today. Just like to pull her apart in that forerib to get her higher today. Gentleman's heifer that comes in next in line, the most moderate heifer in the class, might prefer this frame size just a little bit more. She's a heifer that's really good down her top and squat. Her hip for this young man with enough shape and dimension to her. As you get her in motion, I just like to change how she handles those rear two as she goes about the ring. I just like to make her a little more flexible on both ends as she goes about the ring.
And first place in Class 14 over in your Lim-Flex female show are as followed. First place goes to entry number 37, SSUL How About It, exhibited by Beckett Deveray of Olton, Texas. And second place in that class goes to entry number 38, MFS Natasha, exhibited by Andrew Ray of Brooksville, Kentucky. Third place in that class goes to entry number 35, PSRF Nene, exhibited by Peyton Labor of Hillsboro, Ohio. Please note, entry number 36 was a scratch. Now in the ring is Class 15 over in your Lim-Flex female show. And over in your Red Angus female show, first place in Class 11 goes to entry number 66, VDL April Fools, exhibited by Ruby Perkins, Adamy, Pennsylvania. Second place goes to entry number 64, TC Luna, exhibited by Brooklyn DeBerry of Olton, Texas. Third place goes to entry number 62, RFCC Plush, exhibited by Max Richardson of Menardville, Tennessee. And over in your Red Angus show, your fall heifer calf champion will go to entry number 66, VDL April Fools, exhibited by Ruby Perkins of Amity, Pennsylvania. And your reserve fall heifer calf champion will go to entry number 50, GERA Cowgirl, exhibited by Helen Orr of Davenport, Oklahoma. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. We're now ready for Class 15, Summer Yearling Heifers over in your Red Angus female show.
Nice class of females top to bottom here. We're going to start out with a female that gives you a really great look when you get her in her profile. When this young lady gets her put together, it's just a beautiful, eye-appealing look. She's very extended through her front end. She's good down her top. She's square enough out through her hip. She's long enough out through her hip. She's got great shape and dimension. Probably the best shape and dimension through the center of her rib cage is any female out here. She travels free and easy enough on enough bone and foot. She has enough muscle in her when you get out behind her. She's not the most powerful built from behind as some of the other females in the class, but there's enough power in this female with the really nice feminine athletic ability of this female. She makes it a nice, easy class winner. Heifer that's going to come in next in line, I grant's more powerful than the one that goes right in front of her when you view her out from behind, down that top and out through her hip and down in that stifle. She's not as extended and clean and doesn't quite give you as feminine a look as the heifer that goes in front of her today. And then when you get her in motion, I'd like to make her just a little freer and easy. I'd like to make her reach better off both ends to be above the one in front of her today. But great balance in this female with a lot of product and a lot of rib shape in her. Heifer that's going to come in next in line, probably the biggest bone, biggest footed female in the class to me, long-sided and good square hip. Doesn't have near the shape and dimension in the rib cage of the two that are going to go right in front of her, especially in the rear third of that rib cage. I'd like to pull her down and apart in that flank a little bit, but really a balanced, complete athletic female for this young lady. Gentleman's heifer that comes in next in line, really appreciate the length, the front end, and the femininity in this female. Really extended, good bone and footwork, travels relatively sound and easy, gets a little piecey in her build. She's a little more open at the point of that shoulder, a little more tight in that heart, especially coming out of that upper shoulder to that spine. I'd like to pull her apart there just a little bit. Same can be said for the gentleman's heifer that comes next in line. Extended up through her front end. Just gets too piecey in her build. Just a little tighter hearted. Just a little open in that shoulder. Just a little higher in that flank. Loses some of her balance compared to the one right in front of her.
And catching you up over in your Red Angus female show, first place in Class 15 goes to entry number 68, Shady's Miss Ruby, exhibited by Lexi Goins of Crossville, Tennessee. And that heifer will be automatic intermediate heifer champion. Congratulations. And first place in Class 18 goes to entry number 69, TC Sugar, exhibited by Carly Nitzel of Epworth, Iowa. Congratulations. Now in the ring is Class 19 Red Angus females. And over in your Lim-Flex female show, placings in Class 15 are as followed. First place goes to entry number 42, Stennett Newt, exhibited by Alyssa Simler of Sibylisis, Maryland. And second place in that class goes to entry number 44, LLR No Expectations, exhibited by Abigail Hutchinson of Hartford, Florida. Third place goes to entry number 41, CKES Nora, exhibited by Claire Kessler of Crawfordsville, Indiana. And fourth place in Class 15 goes to entry number 39, TSSL CWNC NAILE, exhibited by Austin Broher of Hillsboro, Ohio. And fifth place in that class goes to entry number 40, LRCC Miss Maverick, exhibited by Trace M. Falkenstein of Oldsgo, Kansas. Please note, entry number 43 was a scratch. Now in the ring is Class 16 over in your Lim-Flex female show. Again, entering the ring now is Class 16 in your Lim-Flex female show. And catching you up over in your Red Angus female show, first place in Class 19 goes to entry number 78, AKW Miss Annie, exhibited by Max Richardson of Menardville, Tennessee. Second place in that class goes to entry number 74, BJF Fancy Lady, exhibited by Sarah Penstaller of City Rush, Minnesota. Third place goes to entry number 77, Shady's Mackenzie, exhibited by Addison Ownby of Cleveland, Tennessee. And fourth place goes to entry number 75, Three Aces Phoebe, exhibited by Abby Newberry of Cedar Hill, Tennessee. And congratulations to your senior intermediate heifer champion, entry number 69, TC Sugar, exhibited by Carly Kinsel of Ellsworth, Iowa. Congratulations. And your reserve senior intermediate champion heifer goes to entry number 78, AKW Miss Annie, exhibited by Max Richardson of Menardville, Tennessee. Again, congratulations to all those exhibitors. Now in the ring is Class 22, your February Junior Yearling Heifers over in your Red Angus Female Show. Again, now in the ring is Class 22 Red Angus Female Heifers.
Really competitive class of Lim-Flex heifers here. We're going to start off with a gentleman's heifer here. I just really like this heifer in motion. I just really like how wide sprung she is top to bottom as she comes out of her chest compared to the other one. She's just more forerib in this female. She carries it back into a really good shape center body cavity and carries that back into the rear flank with some base width. I really like the way she travels free and easy. She flexes off both ends. For a really heifer with a really good feminine look to her when you get her in her profile, when you get out behind her, she doesn't disappoint you with enough muscle and power built in her. There's just a lot to like. Is she as extended up front as a couple of the other ones? No, but she's very clean through her front end, gives you a good feminine, just maternal look, puts together things very nicely. Nice package, how I'd look for him today. Gentleman's heifer that comes in next in line, bigger boned and bigger footed than the heifer right in front of him, maybe a little more extended up front. Still has that great rib cage again. Is going to come in second because she more closely follows the type and kind of the heifer that leads off from a standpoint of having some chest floor in her, having some capacity in that forerib as it comes out of the chest and carrying that back into the rear third of her rib cage. She's a heifer that's got plenty of muscle down her top and square out her hip. She's sound enough as she goes about the ring. She probably, to me, gets maybe just a tick piecier in her makeup as she comes out of that shoulder into that foreribs, especially in the top part of that. As she rotates her shoulder a little when she goes, she's maybe just a little easier right behind there. She doesn't give you quite as appealing a look up front as the heifer in front of her, but really a high quality female to come in next. Young lady's heifer comes in next in line, very extended again through her front end, maybe a little cleaner through her throat latch and down through her chest as the heifer that goes right in front of her. Big center rib cage in this heifer. Problem I have with this heifer that she goes third is I'd like to see her more expanded in that forerib as she comes out of that chest. She appears a little tight there. She appears through all of her hair to cut up a little harder in that rear flank. Good center body in this female, but I just don't envision her having quite the underline, quite the capacity in that forerib and the rear rib as the two that go right in front of her, but sound as she goes about the ring with a good look. Young lady's heifer that comes in next in line, very balanced, big bone, big footed kind of female. The female to me, when you get back on that 3/4 angle, she just gets more coarse in her makeup. She just has a little more shoulder. She's just tighter in that heart. I'd like to pull her apart in that heart, smooth up that shoulder some, getting her higher today. But a free and easy moving, big bone, big footed kind of heifer for this young lady. Young lady's heifer that comes in next in line gives you the good look of some of the heifers in front of her with that rib cage, just not stout and powerful enough as the heifers are going to go in front of her. Young lady's heifer next in line just needs more mass, extended up front, long-sided, sound enough as she goes about the ring, but when you get behind her, just not the punch in this female as the ones in front of her. Gentlemen's heifers that come on the next two spots, just a little piecier in their build, just need to neaten up their build, pull them apart in that heart to get them any higher today.
And placings in class number 16 over in your Lim-Flex female show are as followed. First place goes to entry number 46, TSSL BTOM NADA, exhibited by Blake Kitzmiller of Elk Garden, West Virginia. Second place goes to entry number 48, RICR Jolene, exhibited by Craig Pico of Ewing, Kentucky. Third place goes to entry number 49, Hain TSSL Dirty Dancing, exhibited by J.C. Parrish of Liberty, Texas. Fourth place goes to entry number 50, Legacy's NAILE, exhibited by Jocelyn Rupert of Witt, Illinois. Fifth place goes to entry number 54, HB Whiskey 515N, exhibited by Bailey Ball of L.A. Lafayette, Tennessee. Sixth place goes to entry number 51, Winslow's Divinity, exhibited by Paisley Mufford of Dayton, Pennsylvania. And seventh place goes to entry number 53, Stennett New Girl, exhibited by Thatcher Cass of Langdon, Indiana. And eighth place goes to entry number 54, exhibited by Braden Griffin of Rosedale, Indiana. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors.
Just a single entry here again, and really a very nice, stout-built female. Really like the amount of bone and foot size under this female. Gives you enough balance back through that rib cage. However, she is probably a little deeper in her chest. It cuts up out of that chest a little bit into that forerib, but a really good, functional, very sound, appealing-looking female. It'll be interesting to see her back out here with the rest of them.
And placings in class number 22 over in your Red Angus female show are as followed. First place goes to entry number 85, FHS Majestic, exhibited by Helen Orr of Davenport, Oklahoma. Second place goes to entry number 83, Leon Angels London, exhibited by Tatum Poff of Chardon, Ohio. Third place goes to entry number 87, BJF Fancy, exhibited by Payson Grinder of Milton, and fourth place goes to entry number 9078, exhibited by Red Diamond Cowboy Queen, exhibited by Josie Boycott of Gallipolis, Ohio. And fifth place goes to entry number 86, Sunridge Mia, exhibited by Addison Val of Forest, Mississippi. Now in the ring is class 23, January Junior Yearling Heifers.
Let's congratulate these exhibitors on a nice set of heifers out here for this calf championship. I think we've had a really good group top to bottom. There's definitely some differences in them. I'll go through what I saw. Heifer that wins the first class, very balanced when you get her on her profile. She's a heifer that's good down her top, square out her hip. She's a heifer that's clean enough through her front end, good bone structure under her. She's flat jointed when you get out behind her, has a big old hip. As you view her from here, is she as soft and soggy, especially in the rear third of that rib cage, as maybe a couple of them behind her, maybe just a little heavier in her chest. The heifer, to be quite honest for me, it's a lot of heifer for her age. That's extremely high performing, which is great, but I might, for me, want to moderate her just a little bit. The heifer that comes in and wins the next class gives you this ultimate look. I mean, when you get this heifer on a profile, just has a beautiful look to her. So balanced, so deep through the center of that rib cage, great spring to that rib cage. Easily the most appealing one through her front end out here, just how up-headed she is, how clean she's built. She's square out her hip. She travels free and easy. I probably prefer the moderation in this female. I say moderation. I don't think it's moderation. I think that's plenty of heifer for her age. I think there's just a lot of good in this female. Flat jointed. Is she the most powerful built one from behind? Probably not, but I do think there's enough power in her when you get out behind her. Gentleman's heifer that comes in next in line. Again, I really love the balance of this female and that great rib shape. When you get her on her profile here, so much shape and dimension in that center of that rib, and she pushes that depth into both flanks. She's very big hipped when you get out behind her. A lot of a stifle in this female. A female that's got the right amount of bone in ratio to her body composition. She's extended enough through her front end, not like the heifer right in front of her. She's a heifer to me that maybe just doesn't quite tie together out of their shoulder on either side like the heifer right in front of her. She gets a little easier in her U-neck, maybe tends to break just a little bit in her top as she comes out of her shoulder. Again, from a frame standpoint, she's moderate enough for me. From a weight standpoint, she's pushing a bunch. So, very heavy female for her age, but really a complete female. It's definitely in competition in this division. The young lady's female that wins the last class, probably the biggest bone, biggest footed one of the class winners out here. She's a female that's darn sure long-sided, long-hipped. She has enough rib shape and dimension to her. If you compare her to some of the other heifers, she gets a little deeper in that chest, a little tighter in that forerib as she comes out of that chest. Maybe just a little plainer in her head. Her neck's fine, but maybe just a little plainer in her head compared to some in front of her. It's been a really good group of calves. There's a pair for me that go together kind of out here. There's sure going to be differences in them, but this is the way I see them today. And I'll go out here and grab you your division winner in reserve. Thank you.
And your division champion over in your Lim-Flex female show goes to entry at number 42, Stennett Newitt, exhibited by Alyssa Simler of Salabilla, Maryland. Congratulations. And your reserve champion goes to entry number 46, exhibited by Blake Zeitzmiller of Elk Garden, West Virginia. Again, congratulations.
This individual entry here in the Lim-Flex show, lot to like about this female. Really gives you a great look when this young lady gets her stopped and pulled together here. So deep through the center of that rib cage and so balanced as you view her from here, extended through her front end, getting very maternal looking through her front end. She's good down her top and out of hip, plenty to this female when you get behind her. Really like her bone and footwork under her. She's a very flat jointed, sound enough as she goes about the ring. It'll be very interesting to see her back out here.
And first place in Class 18 over in your Lim-Flex female show goes to entry number 60, ELCX Miranda, exhibited by Delilah Labor of Hillsboro, Ohio. Again, congratulations.
Just a class of two here in the Lim-Flex show, but really a nice individual, nice place to start. Again, when this young lady gets this heifer pulled together, just like her last one, she just gives you a great look, very extended through her front end, so balanced and square out through her hip, good bone and foot under this female, really good ratio to the rest of the composition of her body with enough shape and dimension in the center of that rib. Does a lot of things very nicely. It'll be interesting to see her back out here. Young lady's heifer that comes next in line gives you a really good balanced look, not near as deep through the center of that rib cage as the heifer that's going to go in front of her, but a heifer that's got product in her. When you get out behind her, she's good down her top and square out her hip with plenty of stifle in her. Not the rib cage design of the one in front of her, but the real issue is when we get her in motion here, we just got to relax her off both ends, set her back in that slope of that shoulder a little bit, free her up off that rear hock to get her to just reach better off both ends.
And first place in Class 19 over in your Lim-Flex female show goes to entry number 62, ELCX Molly, exhibited by Delia Labor of Hillsboro, Ohio. Congratulations. And second place in Class 19 goes to entry number 61, Stennet Modesty, exhibited by Cora Burns of Macy, Indiana. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. And placings over in Class 23 in the Red Angus female show. First place goes to entry number 94, C4 She's a Fox, exhibited by Helen Orr of Davenport, Oklahoma. Second place goes to entry number 91, RAML Ura, exhibited by Carly Shutter of Frankton, Indiana. Third place goes to entry number 89, TC Fancy, exhibited by Nathan Skyber, North Branch, Minnesota. Fourth place goes entry number 92, ADPH Ellie, exhibited by Every Dunn of Georgeville, Illinois. We're now ready to select your junior champion heifer in your Red Angus female show. And your junior champion Red Angus female goes to entry number 94, C4 She's a Fox, exhibited by Helen Orr of Davenport, Oklahoma. And your reserve junior champion female goes to entry number 91, RAML Ura, exhibited by Carly Shutter of Frankton, Indiana. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. We're now ready to select your grand champion Red Angus female here at the North American. Again, we're now ready to select your grand champion Red Angus female. Would like to take this time to reintroduce your judge for your Red Angus show, Mr. Cody Sankey. Cody is from Economy, Indiana, with his wife Lindsay and two other children, Caroline and Cyrus, where they own and operate Sankey Angus. Cody also works for Gen X Beef as a beef program director, and Cody has judged numerous shows all across the country in over 27 states, Mexico, and Canada. If you could join me in giving Mr. Cody Sankey a round of applause for being out here on the green shavings and evaluating your Red Angus female show.
here in this class of Lim-Flex heifers. A lot of give and take here, and probably not a heifer I just really would stand on out here. You know, you're going to put together the classes as they come to you. I am going to start with what I believe is the soundest heifer with the most balance, with the most product stretched across her frame, the squareness of hip when you get out behind her, some stifle in her, good bone and foot structure. She's the soundest heifer. She travels around the ring to me. She's laid in well at the point of that shoulder, expanded enough in that heart. Does she have the rib cage like some of the heifers that have been winning classes prior to her? Probably not. But from a soundness standpoint, with the smoothness of build and structure standpoint, she's a logical place for me to start the class with. We got a very extremely large framed heifer is going to come in next in line out here. Big body in this female, little plainer through her front end, a little smaller bone and footed. To me, she comes in next here because of soundness. She's the next soundest heifer in the class. I do wish she had a little more product when I got out behind her. She's a little flatter hipped, flatter stifle kind of female. She just needs more muscle stretched across that frame. I appreciate the rib shape in her. She doesn't give you quite the look as the heifers on either side of her, but she's a heifer from a structure standpoint, logically needs to come in here. Young ladies, heifer that comes in next in line here, possibly standing still, could be your class winner in here. She's really good down her top and square out her hip with plenty of product. She gives you a good balanced look with enough rib shape. Not maybe the rib shape of some of our earlier class winners, but enough within this class. The issue for me is when we get her in motion, she just needs to be freer and easier off both ends. She needs laid back at her knee. She needs the slope of her shoulder laid back a little bit. She needs to flex her hock and her passer and more off her rear too to get her any higher today. Gentleman's heifer that comes in next in line. Plenty of product in this female when you get out behind her in bone size, but just not enough of a maternal look. Just too masculine a look, too coarse of look for me today. Young lady's heifer that's going to come in next in line. Again, her build just needs to be different from a structure standpoint. She needs pulled back at her knee. She needs slope to that shoulder. She needs flex to that hock. It shows in her top when she gets around the ring.
And your grand champion Red Angus female here at the 2025 North American goes to entry number 94, C4 She's a Fox, exhibited by Helen Orr of Davenport, Oklahoma. Congratulations.
Let's give a nice round of applause to these Lim-Flex exhibitors over here. Really nice set of females. Sure, some differences within this division. Not a lot of numbers, but we got some really quality females standing out here. The heifer that won the first class was an individual class, but I remarked in class that I thought she could withstand a lot of competition, and she sure does that when she gets out here. Tremendous rib cage and shape through the center of that rib cage. Great balance in this female, extended enough through her front end. Gives you a great maternal look when you view her from a profile here. She's got good bone and foot under her, still flat jointed. She's got plenty of chest width when you get out in front of her, and she carries that back into a nice expanded forerib, top to bottom. Plenty of product in her. Very sound as she goes about the ring. Just does a lot of things very nicely for me within this division. Gentleman's heifer that's going to come in next in line, probably the longest sided, longest hipped female out here. She's extended through her front end with, again, a good rib cage in her, good bone and footwork. Probably doesn't travel quite with the free and ease of the heifer that's going to win the class right in front of her. Maybe just a little more restricted in that forerib, especially she comes out of the center of that shoulder compared to the one in front of her, but still the same type and kind as you get them on a profile here. Young lady's heifer that won the last class, again, within that class was the soundest female in the class as she went. Really like how she's laid back in her knee. She's got enough slope to that shoulder. The point of that shoulder's laid in. She's expanded enough for her and her heart. She doesn't have the center body that either one of the heifers right in front of her have. I'd like to pull her apart there and pull her down there a little bit, pull her down in that rear flank, but some muscle and soundness, good look in this female. A lot to like about her. There's a heifer out here for me that just dominates this within this division. I'll go get her for your champion, and then I'll take a look for reserve. Thank you.
And over in your Red Angus show, your reserve grand champion goes to entry number 69, TC Sugar, exhibited by Carly Nitzel of Epworth, Iowa. Again, congratulations to all those Red Angus exhibitors. And your division champion over in your Lim-Flex female show goes to entry number 60, ELCX Miranda, exhibited by Delia Labor of Hillsboro, Ohio. Congratulations. And your reserve division champion will go to entry number 62, ELCX Molly, exhibited by Delia Labor of Hillsboro, Ohio. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. We're now ready for Class 21 over in your Lim-Flex show. Again, we're ready for Class 21 in your Lim-Flex female show. And your grand champion, bred and known Red Angus female, goes to entry number 47, Sandridge Lavarba, exhibited by Addison Val of Forest, Mississippi. Again, congratulations to all those Red Angus exhibitors on a successful show here at the North American. We will take a few minutes to get photos of these Red Angus females, and then we'll be ready to go into our Gelbvieh Balancer Junior Heifer show. Again, we'll take a few moments here for pictures, and we'll be moving on with our Gelbvieh Balancer female show.
Again, we'll have some give and take here, but I'm going to start the class off with what I consider the most athletic of the two heifers. The extremely long-sided, long-hipped, very square-built hip, good bone and footwork under this heifer will not disappoint you when you get out behind her. Plenty of shape and dimension to the top of that rib cage. Plenty of muscle in this female. When you get out behind her, carries it down in her stifle. For me, she's a little out of balance. When you view her in her profile here, she gets a little heavy in her chest. Doesn't have quite the rib cage of the heifer that's going to come behind her, especially in the rear third of that rib cage. But the dilemma for me is I prefer the muscle and power in her, the bone work under her, and the way she travels the ring more so than the heifer that comes next. Love the profile of this heifer that comes next. Little cleaner front and extended, very feminine. Has that big center body rib cage that we look for most of the time today. A heifer that carries that depth and shape into both flanks. But as you put her in motion, I just think she's more restricted. I think she moves out of her hip. I'd like to make her just a little more flexible on those rear two so she can travel free and easier to get her above the one in front of her today.
And placings over in your Lim-Flex Class 21 are as followed. First place goes to entry number 72, Sell Miracle, exhibited by Aaliyah Hazel Byers of Johnson City, Tennessee. And second place in that class goes to entry number 70, CLKK Jenny Cates Queen, exhibited by Carter Cornegi of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. Now in the ring is Class 22 Lim-Flex females. And again, we're going to finish up a few Red Angus photos, and then we'll be ready to move on with our Gelbvieh Balancer female show here in Broadbent Arena.
Really a nice class of Lim-Flex females here, top to bottom. I'm going to start, for me, the logical place to start. I absolutely believe this is the soundest heifer of the 5 heifers out here as you put her in motion. Great balance. She's really deep in the center of her body, and I don't think you realize that sometimes because she carries that depth so good into each flank. I mean, she carries tremendous amount of depth and width into that rear flank, really comes out of that chest into a deep fore flank. She's expanded in her heart, so it makes that shoulder very smooth as you view her from a 3/4 angle. She travels free and easy with enough product, gives you a maternal look. I guess a female I like pretty well. It's going to start off this class. Gentleman's heifer that comes in next. Really like this heifer when he gets her stopped and pulled together. Gives me a look I really like. She's sure clean through that front end. Gives her a very feminine look. Enough product in this heifer with enough rib shape and dimension. The way she comes in second to me above the heifer right behind her is as you put her in motion, the way those lower joints work and the way those feet hit the ground, I'm going to pull her up to here. When I put her in motion, her top concerns me. She gets a little rolled in her top and pinches in both ends of that top. But as the feet work as she goes about the ring, I think it makes her the second most soundest heifer in this class. I love it, again, that rib shape and dimension and the muscle in her. I think she's clean enough through the front end. I don't think she's quite as smooth built when you come across that point of that shoulder into that blade into that forerib as the heifer right in front of her, but still expanded enough there with that great look. The heifer that comes in next in line, when she first come into class, I thought maybe this was my class winner. When this young lady gets her parked, a lot of things to like. Again, that extreme balance, that depth to the center of that rib and the way she carries it back into both flanks. Really like the size of her bone and her footwork. I like the smoothness of her joint. There's plenty of product. She's not as extended up front as maybe the ones right in front of her, but she's clean through her front end. She still gives you that good look. As we put her in motion here, she moves too much out of her hip for me. She doesn't flex at her rear hock. She doesn't flex in her rear pastern. She doesn't reach good enough off the first two. I just like to see her more athletic, and she might move right to the top of this class. Young lady's heifer that's going to come in next in line. Again, a well-balanced female from a rib standpoint, but she's pushing a little extra chest. She's a heifer that's sure maternal and feminine through her front end. She doesn't have the hair coat of some of the other ones, but enough muscle in this female. Again, as we get her in motion, she's just going to have to be freer and easier for me to get her any higher today. Same can be said for the young lady's heifer that comes in next in line. Plenty of shape and dimension to her rib and plenty of muscle, but she just needs to be sounder and freer and easier to get her up any higher today. Again, a lot of give and take within this class, but I'm going to start out again in the logical place for me. When this young lady gets this heifer pulled together, gives you that good look we've been looking for today. And for me, she's again the soundest heifer within this class. She's good down her top and square out her hip. There's plenty of rib shape. There's enough muscle in her. She's not the biggest boned one in the world, but they work those bones and those feet and that they work better as she goes about the ring than the other heifers in the class. She is pushing a little extra condition for me, but she's still smooth in her makeup, even with that extra condition, enough product in her. And again, as I see it, the soundest heifer in the class. The heifer that's going to come in next in line is probably going to me, as I'm going to go ahead and call her the next soundest heifer in the class. But personally for me, from here on down, they all have some issues getting around the ring. So it was give and take for me. I like the look of this female. When you get her in profile, she is pushing a little extra chest, but there's a little more bone and foot size. There's a little more product and squareness of hip. When you get out behind her, she gives you a good balanced look. I would like to set her back in her knee and give her more slope to the front shoulder, but as you put her in motion, she handles those rear two with a little bit of ease as she goes about the ring. The young lady's heifer that comes next in line doesn't have the hair the rest of them have, a little more moderate, but she's got a big rib cage. She's a feminine female with a good maternal look to her, enough bone and foot size under, enough product in her when you get out behind her. As you put her in motion, she just gets too rolled up in that top, too broke on both ends of that top. I just like to see her more flexible down her top, and maybe that would relate to how her legs go to the ground. Gentleman's heifer that comes in next in line, I'll be honest with you, just standing still here, would probably win the class for me. I thought that coming in. But she's struggling getting around the ring. And I'll be honest with you, I almost appear to see a limp on her rear too. And it could be an injury. I don't know, but I can't speculate that. I just have to go what's in front of me today. She just has to get more flexible off those rear two. The balance, the look, the muscle, the rib shape, the bone, it's all there. But when we get her in motion, I just got to change the way she gets around to be able to get her any higher today. Gentleman's heifer that's going to come in next in line, the extremely long-sided heifer, long-hipped heifer with plenty of product, just gets coarser in her makeup, just the boldest shouldered, more open in her shoulder, tighter in her heart, and again, doesn't travel as free and easy as she needs to get her any higher today.
And again, we are ready to start our Gelbvieh Balancer female show here in Broadbent Arena with Class 1. Again, we are ready to start our show here with Class 1 entering the ring. Catching you up over in your Lim-Flex female show, placings in Class 22 are as followed. First place goes to entry number 76, SSUL Charmer, exhibited by Carter Corrigay of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Second place goes to entry number 78, TASF Miss Elsa, exhibited by Corbin Robbins of Chattanooga, Oklahoma. Third place goes to entry number 73, FSC Mia, exhibited by Al Staunden of Tipton, Indiana. Fourth place goes to entry number 75, SJMR Melina, exhibited by Samantha Jo Moore of Staten, Virginia. Fifth place goes to entry number 79, exhibited by Emma Graft of Middletown, Ohio. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. And first place in Class 23 in your Lim-Flex show goes to entry number 80, TSSL Maine She's a Star, exhibited by Michaela Jo Massey of London, Kentucky. And second place in that class goes to entry number 83, SSUL Eden, exhibited by Amanda Purvis of For Sales, Kentucky. Third place goes to entry number 82, TASF Make It Classy, exhibited by Alyssa Slimer of Selbyville, Maryland. Fourth place goes to entry number 86, exhibited by Connor Ergen of Chesapeake, Illinois. And fifth place goes to entry number 85, exhibited by Jacob Stouffer of Warsaw, Indiana. Now in the ring is Class 24.
Here in this class of two, Lim-Flex really got a nice female to start off here. Just love the look she gives you in a profile. Really a great job of presentation on this female. Young lady does a great job sticking her. Big-bodied, well-balanced. Carries that depth into both flanks. She's really good out her hip. When she gets behind, when you get behind her, she won't surprise, or she will surprise you with just how much top and hip and muscles in this female. Free and easy, she goes about the ring. Really nice female. Look forward to seeing her back out here later. Gentleman's heifer that comes in next in line, lot to like about this female too. Again, that great rib shape, great the way she carries the depth into both flanks. Maybe a little more moderate than the heifer right in front of her. I can appreciate that about her, though. Good down her top and hip, plenty of product again. When we get her in motion, I don't know if she's been injured or not, but she's struggling off her rear too pretty hard, and it looks like there could be some issues there. If we could just free her up and make it easier on her, really a lot to like about the female.
And first place in Class 24 over in your Lim-Flex show goes to entry number 92, SSUL HF. How about Brother, exhibited by Kennedy Lockhart of Fort Gibson, Oklahoma. Second place goes to entry number 90, TSSL NFX Helen, exhibited by Clayton Moore of Lafayette, Indiana. Now in the ring is Class 25 over in your Lim-Flex show. And catching you up over in your Gelbvieh Balancer show, first place in Class 1 goes to entry number 1, MCAF Miss Fancy, exhibited by Madeline Fryman of Cynthiana, Kentucky. She will also be your automatic spring heifer calf champion. Congratulations. And first place in Class 3 and automatic winner heifer calf champion will go to entry number 17, JNCC Naomi, exhibited by Bo Noak Saloto from Bland, Missouri. And second place goes to entry number 2, JNCC Nada, exhibited by Cameron Nowak of Bland, Missouri. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. Now in the ring is Class 5. Would like to take this time to introduce your judge over in your Gelbvieh Balancer show, Mr. Brandon Callis of Minco, Oklahoma. He's a 2005 grad of Texas A&M and has a master's of animal breeding and genetics from Kansas State. He's currently a professor at Redlands Community College. He owns and operates BKC Livestock with his wife Kelly and 3 kids, where he runs a herd of cattle. He has been blessed to sort shows in over 30 states and 3 countries, and he always feels blessed to be asked to sort livestock shows. If you could join me in giving Mr. Brandon Callis a big round of applause for being out here. Thank you very much. And first place in Class 5 over in your Gelbvieh Balancer show goes to entry number 19, Journey's First Lady, exhibited by Thompson Phelps of Paragould, Arkansas. And second place in that class will go to entry number 18, DNF Marcy, exhibited by Keenly Mitz of Sonega, South Carolina. And third place goes to entry number 4, MCAF Miss Manifesto, exhibited by Madeline Fryman of Cynthiana, Kentucky. Now in the ring is Class 6 Senior Heifer Calves.
Really a nice class of females here with a really nice pair on top. The heifer we're going to start with, though, does a lot of things I like quite a bit. She's just very feminine, maternal through her front end. She's extended enough up through there, just has a huge body and rib cage on her. She's a heifer that's got plenty of muscle down her top, out through her hip, and down her stifle. I really like the ratio of bone and foot to her body composition. It keeps her very maternal looking. The shape and dimension in the center of her rib is really something when you get out in a three-quarter angle. She's still yet to be that powerful, very smooth build. The heifer that comes in next in line really is a really nice female. Again, a little more bone and foot maybe than the heifer right in front of her, but a big-bodied female with quite a bit of muscle in her. Again, gives you that elite look on her profile when she sets up for the young lady here. When you get her in motion, I think she handles her hind legs really good. I think for me, she's just a little straighter at the point at the slope of that shoulder, a little more out at her knee. Maybe I'd like to see her reach better off those front two compared to the heifer that's going to win the class. But this is a really nice heifer that comes in second here. Young lady's heifer that comes in next in line, again, gives you a really good look on a profile with enough depth and shape to the center of that rib. Doesn't carry that depth and shape into the flanks like the two that go right in front of her. And then when we get her in motion, doesn't travel near as free and easy as those two right in front of her, but a good, complete female that has a lot of the qualities we've been looking for today. The young lady's heifer that's going to come in next in line is a female to me that has that rib shape and dimension with muscle for this young lady. She just needs to travel a little free and easier as we go about the ring. Young lady's other heifer that comes in next in line, again, a heifer with enough rib shape and dimension, enough function to this female, needs to be freer and easier as she travels to get up any higher in this class today.
And placings in Class 6 over in your Gelbvieh Balancer show are as followed. First place goes to entry number 22, Butler's Miss Maisie, exhibited by Alexander Rabb of Markle, Indiana. Second place goes to entry number 21, TCC Pride, exhibited by Henry Duggan of Calhoun, Georgia. And third place goes to entry number 23, TGA Midnight, exhibited by Davy Lynn Thompson of Campbellsville, Kentucky. We'll now be selecting your senior heifer calf champion. And placings in Class 25 over in your Lim-Flex show are as followed. First place goes to entry number 97, Boyle Core Layla, exhibited by Keegan Bonsack of Taylor Ridge, Illinois. Second place goes to entry number 27, Selmia, exhibited by Abigail Faith Turner of Interlachen, Florida. And third place goes to entry number 93, Ratliff Moonlight, exhibited by Aaliyah Hazel Byers of Johnson City, Tennessee. And fourth place goes to entry number 29, PRF Miss Nelly, exhibited by Anna Weber of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. And fifth place goes to entry number 96, exhibited by Alea Hanks of Watauga, Illinois. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. We'll now be selecting your division champion. And your senior heifer calf division champion will go to entry number 22, Butler's Miss Maisie, exhibited by Alexander Rabb of Markle, Indiana. And your reserve champion will go to entry number 19, Journey's First Lady, exhibited by Thompson Phelps of Paragould, Arkansas. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors.
Again, let's congratulate these exhibitors on a really nice division here. You know, as you view these cattle, I'm very pleased with this group of class winners. I think you can see a type and kind developing. You know, the numbers were a little more up within this division than compared to some of our other divisions, and that shows in the quality. I think we got several heifers out here that are very, very well built. They put a lot of the things together that I've been looking for today. They do it in a very neat fashion. I think these young people have done an outstanding job sticking them. I know it's not all on them, on the presentation of them. The people presenting them have done a great job. I think this is really a nice looking set. The young lady's heifer that wins the first division. I love the extra length of this female. She's sure stout enough, built, big bone, big footed flat enough jointed. Compared to some of the other heifers out here, she gets a little out of balance. She's a little heavier in that chest, lacks a little bit of the depth and capacity in the rear third of that rib cage compared to her counterparts behind her. Young ladies heifer that won the next class. I like this one quite well. I really like how free and easy as she goes about the ring, the rib shape and dimension in this female. She overwhelmed her class from a soundness standpoint within the class, and then she gives you that really good maternal feminine look to her. Is she quite as powerful from behind as some of her counterparts down the line? Probably not, but that's a heifer that's in consideration to get part of this division. Young ladies heifer that comes in next, I think, again, is it just that typical heifer that I look for from a standpoint of a balanced look with plenty of shape and dimension to her rib. She's square out her hip. She's a heifer that's got enough to her when she gets behind. She's probably one of the smaller bone, smaller footed, but I still think there's enough in this female. She's smooth built through her shoulder, and the way that blade transitions back into her forerib. She's pushing a little more condition to me than some of the other heifers out here. Again, she won that class strictly on, she was the soundest heifer in the class. Really like the look of this big heifer that's going to come in next. I will grant this is probably the largest framed heifer, but not too large for me. Just within this division, she's probably the biggest framed heifer for her age out here. She's also probably the biggest bone, biggest footed heifer out here. She sure has a great rib cage in her, and it gives you really good balance when you get on her profile. She's deep in the center. She carries that depth into both flanks. She's expanded as she comes out of her blade in her forerib. She's got a hip. She's really not disappointing. When you get out behind her, you know, I look at this heifer sometimes and think, oh, when you get out behind her, she's going to have enough muscle. She's got a lot of muscle. Big old hip in her, big old top in her. Just a lot to like about the female. Gentleman's heifer that won the last class, just tremendous rib shape. Probably haven't had a female come out here today that can rival the rib shape of this female. And I say that not just from a depth point, which she has great depth, and she carries that into both flanks, but from a three-quarter angle, the shape and dimension in the center of that rib, the way her rib cage comes high out of her spine. She's not church-topped at all. There's plenty to this female when you get behind her. Big old square hip in her, a lot of stifle, travels free and easy, gives you a really good maternal look. Really like the heifer that came in second to her, too. A big boned female with a good foot under, a lot of muscle in her. Just a lot to like about the female. Maybe thought compared to the one that won the class, she needed to set back in her knee a little more, maybe a little easier on her passer. Not that it's bad. That's a very sound female. But that's how I separated the two of them at that point. I think this is a really good group out here. There's 3 or 4 in consideration, but I'll be honest with you, I know which one's winning the division. I will take a harder look for reserve because there's 2 that are going to come for me pretty hard to be reserved. But it's been a wonderful set, and I look forward to them back out here. Thank you.
And your Division 3 Lim-Flex female goes to entry at number 97. Again, goes to entry number 97. Boy J. Layla, exhibited by Keegan Bonsag of Taylor Ridge, Illinois. Congratulations. And your reserve division champion will go to entry number 92, SSUL HF Hal Bowder, exhibited by Kennedy Lockhart of Fort Gibson, Oklahoma. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. We'll now be moving on to Class 26 over in your Lim-Flex female show. And first place in Class 8 over in your Gelbvieh Balancer show goes to entry number 5, CCDE Mindy, exhibited by Callie DeRosset of Sulphur, Kentucky.
Just a single entry again here in the Lim-Flex show, but really a very smooth built female. Really love the way she's laid it at the point of the shoulder, how flat her blade lays into her. She comes out of that upper shoulder really good into her spine. She's good down her top. Again, plenty of rib shape and dimension. Really carries it into both flanks really well. Shows a lot of balance. Travels free and easy enough. It'll be interesting to see her back out here.
And first place in Class 26 over in your Lim-Flex female show goes to entry 100 ENTJ Loretti, exhibited by Elza Truel of Santuk, Oklahoma. Now entering the ring is Class 27. And first place in Class 9 over in your Gelbvieh Balancer show goes to entry number 24, Madonna, exhibited by Alexandra Rabb of Markle, Indiana. And your intermediate heifer champion will go to entry number 24, exhibited by Alexandra Rabb of Markle, Indiana. And your reserve will go to entry number 5, exhibited by Callie DeRosset of Sulphur, Kentucky. Now in the ring is Class 11.
Just a single entry here again. We have a cow, big bone, big footed cow that travels, I guess, free and easy enough, has plenty of milk under. Maybe like to change the teat design on this female just a little bit, clean her up just a little in the bottom third of her underline, clean up her chest and her navel a little bit. She actually has a really nice heifer calf she's raising here, 4-week-old calf that she's doing a really nice job with. Be interesting to get him back out here.
And first place in Class 27 over in your Lim-Flex female show goes to entry number 101, BRYF Lady Luck, exhibited by Bryce Fred of Duck, West Virginia.
Here in your last division of the Lim-Flex show, two very nice females out here. Obviously, some extreme differences in them. The first heifer obviously has not calved yet, but she's a very balanced, complete female that gives you a good look on the profile, very square out through her hip. She's extended enough through her front end. She travels free and easy enough as she goes about the ring. I would probably like to see her flex a little bit better off these rear two, but in comparative to the cow behind her, still travels free and easy as she goes. Just like the smoothness in her build, the capacity in her rib cage, especially in the forerib as she comes out of her shoulder, a little more turn to her rib. Cow back here is doing a really nice job with a nice heifer calf behind her. She's a big bone, big footed kind of cow, long-sided and square hip. She cow that needs to travel a little freer and easier. She just needs a little more shape and dimension as you get her on a 3/4 angle. Like to see a little more shape in her rib, a little more shape to her muscle. Granted, I know some of that's went away because she's calved so young, but still, I just like to see more shape and dimension as I get her on a 3/4 angle. Your heifer that won the first class will be your division winner. The cow will be a reserve. Thank you.
And your champion division goes to entry number 100, ENTJ Loretti, exhibited by Elza Truel of Santuk, Oklahoma. And your reserve division champion goes to entry number 101, BRYF Lady Luck, exhibited by Bryce Friend of Duck, West Virginia. We're now ready to select your grand champion, Lim-Flex female, here in Broadbent Arena. Again, we're ready to select your grand champion, Lim-Flex female. Would like to take this time to introduce our judge over in our Limousine and Lim-Flex show today, Mr. Bruce Sturzbach. Bruce, alongside with his wife Amy, own and operate Sturzbach Cattle Company, a true family operation that they have been in business for over 30 years. Bruce is deeply committed in the livestock community, has judged numerous shows across the country, folks, and let's join our hands together and welcome Mr. Bruce Sturzbach for being with us here on the Green Shavings.
Well, again, let's please give these exhibitors a nice round of applause and congratulations. I really like the set of females I have out here. Before I do that, I'm not a mic guy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you stories and stuff because I just don't do it. The only thing I'm going to do is thank people. I want to thank Louisville for having me down here. It's always a pleasure to judge on the Green Shavings down here. I want to thank the American Limousine Association for having me out here to do this. I really appreciate all the ring help I've had today. They've done a great job, been great to get along with. I really appreciate all the exhibitors from the kids out here showing them, done a wonderful job. I want to thank them. They've been very courteous. They've been great to work with. The gentlemen that get them ready and get them out here, I want to thank them. I want to thank my wife and my family. My wife's helping take pictures, and she's everything to me. So I thank her. I thank her for the family she gave me. My sons, to be honest with you, we have one heifer in Louisville this year. My sons are getting 25 of them ready to go to jackpots in Denver and stuff. We just decided not to bring a lot of them here this year, so we just have one heifer here today. She did win her division in the Angus show, so I was really happy with that, and I appreciate it. But I want to thank my sons. They're at home. They do so much for me. I want to thank their wives for putting up with my sons. And I want to thank them for giving me two beautiful grandchildren. That's it. This is about these kids, the cows that were brought today, and how I see them and view them today. Doesn't make me right. It's just my opinion. They asked for my opinion today. I'm going to give it. Anybody who wants to speak to me afterwards about it, they disagree with something and want to do it politely, I'm more than willing to talk to you. It's just how I view it today. It's been a wonderful show. I will talk about them all quick. Some people don't do this. It doesn't take me long, but I like for people to be clear about what I saw. The heifer calf that won the first division, love this female from a profile. Does a lot of things I like really well. She's extremely sound as she goes. She just gives you that great maternal look, the kind of look that I see a future in as they develop her down the road to make a big heifer. I'm going to be the first one to admit when you get behind her, is she as powerful built as some of her counterparts behind her? No. But she's young enough. I appreciate her frame size, the performance in her, the genuine, how genuine she is from a size, weight standpoint, the way she motivates herself as she goes about the ring with extension. The heifers actually could be in very much consideration to get part of this. The heifer that would have won the second division, lot to like about this female. Probably one of the bigger bone, bigger footed females that are standing out here for her age. Really good down her top and square build. Really great rib cage design, very balanced in that. She's laid in good enough at the point of her shoulder. She's extended and feminine enough up through her front end. As we put her in motion, does she travel quite as free and easy as a couple of these heifers out here? Maybe not, but that's picking on one. I'm not saying anything about her soundness. That heifer's still very sound. It's just you got to start splitting hairs and split these. The heifer that won the next division does a lot of things for me that I really like. I mean, she's tremendous in her rib cage, especially in the center of it. She's just wide and sprung, and she carries that depth and width into both flanks. With that said, it doesn't get sloppy on her. And you know, for me, sometimes I see heifers, we go to shows and I see these huge bellied heifers and guys just go on about it. But when you get them on a profile, it almost starts taking away from them. It becomes too much, it becomes unnecessary. This heifer, I love the shape and dimension and the rib cage she has, but still, when you get her on a profile, it fits her. She has great balance. I love how powerful she is. She surprises you when you view her from a profile and she's so maternal. Then when you walk behind her, you're a little bit taken back by, wow, she's pretty powerful too. She comes out of that upper shoulder. She's got a big spread in that upper rib cage as she comes through the middle of her back to her loin. She has a big spread in her hip. She's got a big old stifle in her, and you put her in motion and she travels free and easy. Very impressive animal from a point of having so much power, yet being so maternal looking and so smooth built and traveling free and easy. The senior yearling that would have won the last division, not the competition within the division, but again, a very balanced heifer with enough shape and dimension in her. As you put her in motion, she doesn't get around as free and easy as any of her counterparts in front of her. The heifer that was second or was reserve in division in the big division here, and maybe I'm giving this away, definitely in consideration as we go through here for the big bone and big foot. I really don't care if I'm giving this away. The young man's heifer right here will be your champion Lim-Flex heifer. Congratulations.
And over in your Lim-Flex show, your grand champion Lim-Flex female here at the 2025 North American goes to entry number 97, Boy J. Corlila, exhibited by Keegan Bonsack of Taylor Ridge, Illinois. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion Lim-Flex female goes to entry number 92, SSUL HF, Hal Bowder, exhibited by Kennedy Lockhart of Fort Gibson, Oklahoma. Again, congratulations to those Lim-Flex exhibitors. And over in your Gelbvieh Balancer show, placings in Class 11 are as followed. First place goes to entry number 30, Butler's Miss Margot, exhibited by Kira Moore of Fountain Run, Kentucky. And second place in that class goes to entry number 31, entry number 31, Mindy, exhibited by Thompson Phelps of Paragould, Arkansas. Third place goes to entry number 29, Miss Mia, exhibited by Casey Brown of DeWitt, Kansas. And fourth place in that class goes to entry number 8, Butler's Miss Maria, exhibited by Jet Barker of Stuart, Oklahoma. Fifth place goes to entry number 27, exhibited by Tillman Dorosset of Glasgow, Kentucky. And sixth place in that class goes to entry number 28, exhibited by Clara Bell Bishop of Cox's Creek, Kentucky. And again, those entries 30 and 31 will be automatic division champion and reserve division champion. Now in the ring is Class 13 junior yearling females over in your Gelbvieh Balancer female show. Blood Simmental show here in the Broadbent Arena with Class 1. Again, we're ready to start our full blood Simmental heifer show here in Broadbent Arena. Would like to take this time to introduce your full blood Simmental judge here this afternoon, Mr. Will Banks. Will is originally from Cynthiana, Kentucky, where he grew up on his family backgrounding and cow-calf operation. Will attended Hutchinson Community College for his associate before transferring to Kansas State University to complete his bachelor's in animal science. While at both entities, Will was a member of the livestock judging and meat animal evaluation teams. Furthermore, during this time, he is an undergrad and Will served as an assistant coach for Hutchinson Community College, where he helped coach the champion team at the All-East Meat Animal Evaluation Contest. Will and his wife, Lindsay, now reside in Kentucky, where he works as a risk mitigation coordinator for the Bluegrass Stockyard Marketing Group. Additionally, Will and his family run Walking W Cattle Company and 32 West Stock Farm, a family partnership centered around raising purebred Red Angus seed stock. If you could join me in giving Mr. Will Banks a round of applause for being with us here on the Green Shavings.
Well, good evening. It's certainly a pleasure to have the opportunity to come out, a place that has been very dear to my heart. I only grew up an hour and 45 minutes just a little east of here, and it's definitely a privilege anytime you get called to evaluate here in Louisville, Kentucky. Good way to get us started here in our full blood Simmental show. And we've got some contrasting types and kinds. There's no doubt about that. And we could probably pick on all four of these particular females just in regard to the way maybe they want to get out in terms of their feet and legs. For me, just in regard to body volume, cow power, and dimension, the young man's heifer that wins does so pretty comfortably. You love her frame size. She's really big and she's really opened up there in terms of her rib. She's a smooth blending, nice balancing type of a female that when we stop and get her presented, she can level out and give you a nice enough look. Again, she probably is a female that wants to just get a little, ever so slightly, straight up and down there in terms of her shoulder blade. Maybe a heifer that we could see just take a longer stride there with her hock. I think the complement to that is definitely the young lady's heifer that's in second. I like that one from the side, maybe as good as any of them. Long necked, very, very just honest condition type of a female. She's very strong in her top line. She's probably just the levelest there out through her hip. That heifer does have just a little extra bend to her hock compared to our class winner. She's another one that gets just a little too vertical there in her shoulder angle. She wants to tighten up there at the base of her heart and her forerib and needs to be softer back into her flank. The young lady's heifer that comes next, soft-haired, nice presented, dead level down her top line. She might be just the most flexible and free traveling heifer of the entire class. With that, you get on either side of her. She's awfully narrow there in terms of just her base width underneath. She's easily the flattest there through her heart and her forerib back there in terms of her pin set, but a quality individual, no doubt about that. Young lady's heifer that rounds out the class, moderate, big ribbed, and high volumed. Like that one from a dimension and a power standpoint. She's probably just the most compact there in regard to her stature, a little shorter there in her neck and deeper there at the plane of her chest floor. Got to see that heifer. Most concerning, in my opinion, she's got to just go looser off either end of her skeleton. Nice class of them there. Congratulations to all of them.
And placings in Class 1 over in your full-blood Simmental heifer show are as followed. First place goes to entry number 386, GJC Miss Page, exhibited by Garrett Jones of Anna, Texas. And second place in that class goes entry number 382, TCBO Georgie, exhibited by Canadian Squalls of Ozark, Arkansas. Third place goes entry number 387, Lady Jane 184, exhibited by Haley Ann Lynch of Southwick, Massachusetts. And fourth place in that class goes entry number 384, TCBO Peaches, exhibited by Jada Peppers of Dawsonville, Georgia. Again, now in ring is Class 2 of your full-blood female show. And over in your Gelbvieh Balancer show, if you could join me in giving Mr. Brandon Callis one more big round of applause for being out here on the green shavings and evaluating our show. And your grand champion, Gelbvieh Balancer female here at the 2025 North American will go to entry number 38, T-Bar S Miss, exhibited by Lainey Sasser of Edmond, Oklahoma. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion female will go to entry number 24, Madonna, exhibited by Alexander Rabb of Markle, Indiana. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors.
Another nice class here back on your full-blood Simmental side. And I'll be the first to tell you, I know the two heifers that we've got standing at the top end of the class are a little different in regard to not only the way they're presented to us, but their type and kind as well. And when you get back to 3 and 4, they are giving up maybe just a little bit more frame, a little bit more stretch and performance. I think if you truly study these two heifers and break them down, there's an awful lot of good in them. I like the power, the body shape, just the dimension, and just the overall just cow power, if you will, the young lady's heifer that goes ahead and wins. And still to be that just bold-bodied, big in her top, and stout there back into her hip, I think if you let that heifer stop and collect herself, She keeps her top line dead level. She's probably my favorite in the way her tail head sets in the top side of her spine as well. If we're going to tweak on her just ever so slightly, she probably has just as much condition on her as anything in this particular class. And while, you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that she needs to just, she's not crippled by any means, she probably could just reach with just a little bit longer stride off of her back leg. Young lady's heifer, the second to me, is just the most honest in her condition. Probably just the freshest presented heifer that we have. She is looser and longer striding. She's probably just a freckle cleaner there in terms of her lower joint work. There's a look of quality and balance this heifer presents us with when you get her stopped here and from the side. With that, though, when we get her in the motion, she wants to come apart just ever so slightly there in her loin and elevating her tail head, get a freckle more uncoordinated there in regard to her hind leg. Big picture thing, she's given up a lot of volume to the cattle on either side of her. Young man's heifer that comes next, a little bit bigger, higher performing type of a female. She's got a nice hip and hind leg, very flexible in that regard. I think for additional frame size, we could accommodate it with just a little bit more softness through her heart, her forerib, and back into her flank. She's a heifer that wants to open at the top of her shoulder blade and get just a little vertical and upright as well. Similar story for the young lady's heifer that comes next. This is the performance heifer in class, if that's what you're sitting here and after. Really, really long-sided, a lot of stretch to that particular female, like the condition that she's in. She's pretty upright and stilty off either end of her skeleton. Got to see another one just go a touch softer there and the way her pastern wants to meet the surface. Young lady's heifer that comes in next is moderate, big-ribbed, and has some power to her, just too straight and vertical off both ends as well. A heifer that we need to see just lengthened out in regard to both her stride and just her hip length too. A very just youthful, again, honest condition type of a heifer that rounds out our class. Probably goes just a little freer off of her back